Oh, welcome back to your second set of lectures here. So, back in the day, Friedman's ideas was so captivating, was so revolutionary that he was awarded the 1976 Nobel Prize in Economic Science for his research on the monetary history, on consumption, and the stabilization policy. All right, so during that time, you would see that there was significantly from the dominance of the Keynesian school of thought. After the Keynesian, the monetarist school of thought became very influential during the 1970s and the early 80s. All right, so what they asserted, as I've been saying, is that the money supply is the primary factor in determining inflation or deflation in an economy. The money supply also is the primary determinant of economic growth. So when you increase the money supply, you achieve economic growth. So according to the monetarist theory, if you see your slides there, monetary policy is a much more effective tool than fiscal policy for stimulating the economy or slowing down the rate of inflation. So monetarists argue that when trying to talk about the economy, you would see that they try their best to say that fiscal policy cannot achieve the effects of combating inflation and other economic policies as compared to what monetary policy can do. So more or less, they talk about using monetary policy as an effective tool for combating or slowing down the rate of inflation. Also, if you see the monetary school of thought, you would note that it is the primary alternative macroeconomic theory to Keynesian economic theory. So the alternative theory of to Keynesian way of thinking is the monetarist way of thinking, and monetarists believe in extremely limited government economic intervention, while Keynesians argue for active government intervention. So that's the main difference between the monetary school of thought and the Keynesian school of thought. Some main pointers in the monetarist macroeconomics. You would note that central to monetarism is the quantity of money, which states that the money supply is multiplied by the rate at which money is spent, which is equals to the nominal expenditure in the economy. All right. So the quantity of money, the money supply, the amount of money in an economy, is multiplied by the rate at which the money is spent. So money supply multiplied by the rate at which money is spent, and that will equals the nominal expenditure in the economy. Monetarists basically argue that government should keep the money supply fairly steady. So you have to keep the money supply fairly steady, and you expand it slightly each year, mainly to allow for the natural growth of the economy. So the main target of monetarist macroeconomics is to keep the money supply fairly steady. You keep it fairly steady, and then basically you expand it slightly every year to achieve a targeted growth of the economy. So that is what's being promoted by monetarist theory of macroeconomics. All right, when you're looking at the monetarist contribution to macroeconomics, you will know that the supply of money is the determinant of national income. So the supply of money will determine national income. In the long run, the influence of money is primarily on the price level and other nominal magnitudes. All right, price level is also determined by the money supply. All right, real output and employment are not determined by monetary factors. So real output and employment, they are not determined by monetary factors, but national income is determined by the monetary factor, which is supply of money. But in the short run or short term, the supply of money does affect the output. Money is the dominant factor in causing cycles in fluctuations in output and employment in the short run. And private sector is generally stable, and instability is primarily the result of government policy. So what it says is that money is the dominant factor in causing the fluctuations in output and employment. More money, more people get employed. Less money, less people get employed. So that is what it means when it says money is the dominant factor in causing fluctuations in output and employment. And the monetarists believe private sector is stable, and all the instability that is in the economy is brought by the government. Right, we now move to your TED lecture videos.